Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gohndim and Gilmore podcast. I'm joined here tonight with Gilmore. Gilmore, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Not too bad. Let's get right into it with our small talk segment. I have a very simple question for you. Is the Obama Library building ugly as fuck?
So, just to clarify the record, I am a big fan of brutalist buildings. I think some of the objectively ugliest buildings look good, but unfortunately, even I do not think this building looks good at all.
You kind of debated me before the cast. I thought you were going to say you like the building. So we both agree this is one of the ugliest buildings of all time. Probably the only thing conservatives have been right about in the last month or two since Charlie Kirk's death on Twitter. So yeah, moving on. I think you're going to teach me about NBA gambling. Take it away.
Yeah, so the federal government announced two different kind of sets of arrests in relation to indictments relating to gambling. The first has to do with poker, and the second has to do with insider betting. Which do you want to learn about first?
Insider betting. That's what I'm more familiar with.
Okay. So some players, I don't know if you'll know who they are, Terry Rozier and Damon Jones. Do you know who they are?
No, I have not watched a full NBA game since Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce were on that Celtics team in probably 2008 or 2009. So it's been a long time.
Okay. Well, they're players. And so them two and others were involved in some sort of scheme where they provided non-public information about usually injuries to certain bettors who bet around, low six figures on games, between $100,000 and $200,000, it sounds like. On one occasion, Terry Rozier told people before a game, openly, that they should basically bet the under on him because he wouldn't be playing the full game. And he left the game very early on with an injury. So all the unders in that game hit. So they made around $100,000 or so from that, which presumably some portion was given to Rozier, but I don't know if that's actually alleged in the indictment. So question for you. Let's say Rozier made, $20,000 from that. Guess how much he made in his entire career so far?
How long did he play?
Probably 15 years. I'm not really sure.
And I'm assuming it's not a star player because I've never heard the name before. So I would assume 15 years. I mean, he must have made $20 million at least, right?
So he made $160 million in his career.
Okay, well, 20 grand. I mean, things are expensive. Buy inflation, groceries. I mean, I went to the store today. 2 grocery bags were $44. So, I mean, 20 grand goes a long way. He's probably got 12 kids. Isn't the stat that the NBA, they have more children than any other sport on average?
Yeah, I haven't looked into those stats yet, but it wouldn't shock me. And then also, do you know Chauncey Billups? He's around that era that you would have watched before.
Yeah, I know him a little bit. I can picture his big face or his big head.
So he also allegedly provided insider information about a game in, I think it was 2022 or 2023, where he was a coach at the time for the Blazers. And he told people that he would be basically tanking and benching their 4 best players before the injury report came out. And then they bet it, and then he benched all 4 of those players, and I believe they lost the game. So good for Chauncey Billups.
I think this begs the question, are you saying, based on some of this information, that maybe the broader NBA is rigged? How widespread is this? Do you think the NFL is rigged? Should we even be watching the Super Bowl? I mean, how much do we hate Bad Bunny? There's so many questions that this uncovers.
Well, you kind of stole my thunder. I was going to say we already agreed, did a blood oath not to watch the Super Bowl because of Bad Bunny, but it's just all the more reason not to watch in my book.
Oh my God. The only reason I really watched last year was out of horror, the fact that Mahomes might win 3 straight. Of course, I'm very glad during the broadcast they corrected the record. The Packers had the first three-peat before the Super Bowl era, but still the first three-peat. Anyway, anything more on the gambling scandal?
So that's it for the betting. It's a separate scandal also involving Chauncey Billups, lucky for him, related to poker, which is a much more ridiculous one, where he and about 30 other people were hosting and running these poker games, where they were allegedly using a card shuffler, an electronic one, which read all the cards, and it would report before the hand was even dealt who would win the hand to some guy who wasn't in the building. He would relay it to someone in the building, and the person in the building would relay it to the people who were cheating at the table. So they would know before the hand was even dealt who would win the hand. And apparently they won around, $7 million by doing this.
Well, $7 million is definitely a lot more than $20,000. So that seems a lot more believable or like something that I would actually go after and do. I don't think I'd risk my entire reputation after earning $160 million for $20,000, but 7 million maybe in the realm.
To be fair to Chauncey Billups, who was in on this, he didn't make $160 million in a career. He only made around $106 million in his career. So much more understandable.
Yeah, the ratio there is just much more. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, speaking of cheating, a lot of people are saying that the WNBA players moving over to the female side of the league have been cheated out of their pay for the last, well, since the inception of the league. Commissioner Adam Silver of the NBA says that players deserve more money. Under the current collective bargaining agreement, the WNBA players receive only 9.3% of league revenue. Can you guess what that share is in the NBA?
It's closer to 50, I believe.
It is 49%. I think the NFL is 50. Most of the male leagues are 49 to 50%, if I did my research correctly. Gilmore, why do people still hate women?
I think it has to do something with them not being able to dunk. Isn't that the case?
Well, the current all-time dunk leader in the WNBA is Brittany Griner, and I guess Biden did trade the Merchant of Death for her to come back to the WNBA to continue her dunk streak.
I don't think it was drinking. It was some other issue she had. So.
Yeah, it was weed. It was weed. That's right. Yeah. But so maybe we're starting to value that women can dunk after all.
Maybe. So, do you think that there's gonna be a lockout for next season?
It would be very rich that there's a lockout the year that I get my season tickets. So there probably will be. I actually don't think so. I think they're going to come to terms here. I think they're going to raise the veteran minimums. They're going to raise the maximums. I think they're asking for like a maximum of $1 million per year, and I think the latest return from the WNBA commissioner said like 850,000. So I think they're close enough to have a season.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. And we have all the players, calling out the commissioner too. It should be interesting to see what happens over the next few months.
In far more serious news, we have people in China in particular, and some people in Europe and probably the United States who are potentially killing themselves over the Counter-Strike 2 market collapse. So for those who are unaware, Counter-Strike is a first-person shooter, the preeminent esport. And it's a game that's developed by Valve, who also owns and operates Steam. I'm trying to remember now. The days kind of blur together. It was either last night or the night before. They made a major change to an in-game mechanic that allows you to unlock the best items far more easily, making the knives and gloves, these in-game cosmetics that were $20, $40, $50,000 far less valuable. A lot of these high-tier items collapsed 80%. The entire market went down from like a $6 billion high market cap to about $3 billion. Gilmore, are you going to be buying cosmetics after this collapse?
So, from what I understand, the cooler items are cheaper and the less cool items are more expensive. Is that what happened?
Kind of. So, like previously, the only way to unlock knives and gloves, which are like the most sought after items, was you buy a loot crate or you get a loot crate from your weekly reward, and you pay Valve $2.49 to buy a key to unlock the crate and get a chance to open this high tier item. Now you can actually take 5 of the second tier items and do what's called a trade up contract and kind of unlock a random gold, which is a knife or a glove. And so the market's being flooded by all of these people that are taking these available skins on the market and trading up to these gold items, which is really devaluing all these previously really rare items. I mean, there's some knives and gloves that are selling on foreign markets, particularly Buff is a website, for $40, $50, $60. I mean, it's prices that have really not been seen since like 2017, 2018. It's a complete market reset.
And is it also the case, this is what I learned in my about 2 minutes of research on the topic, is it also the case that once you do the trade-in, there's like a week-long hold on it, so you can't even sell the product for a week or so?
Yeah, that's a change that Valve actually implemented earlier this year. They put like a 7-day trade hold on all your items so you can reverse a trade in case you get scammed. A lot of people reacted to that initially as it being market breaking and that prices were going to decrease, and it was a bad thing for the game because you can't like instantly cash out your funds. Almost all the big websites that allow you to cash out adapted pretty quickly to that change, and they just hold your funds for you. Or if you reverse the trade within 7 days, you get punished, if not banned from those websites. So that was a change that people thought would break the market, and this one seemingly might have actually broken the market But we'll have to see after the 7 day window, which I think closes on October 30th, how bad the market gets, how bloody it gets.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that the market already tanked so much. It's probably going to tank more once that window ends, right? Because then people actually be able to sell the products they unlocked.
Yeah, that's the speculation. Who knows? I mean, things are getting so cheap already that it's hard to fathom. I guess it going much lower with gloves being so attainable and knives being so attainable for so many people. Personally, I will probably be picking up a second set. I have a knife and glove combo that's relatively cheap. I'll probably buy one on the T side, just to have something that I can play with and enjoy. I usually don't plan on selling my skins anyway, so not a big deal for me. I think a lot of normies actually really like what's happening right now, and a lot of people that were invested heavily into CS are just losing their minds.
So it's good news for me, is what you're saying.
I think you've gotten all your skins from trades from me, so I'm not really sure how you're benefiting either way. But if you want to start buying skins, I guess maybe. All right, let's get into our main segment of the small talk section. We're calling this "What Would Gohndim Do for Ariana Grande Tickets?" For those who are unaware, I might be a little bit of an Ariana Grande fan. Gilmore has come up with, is it 10, 11, 12 questions that get progressively scarier, I guess, from my perspective, and we'll see how far I will go for those front row tickets. And we're assuming I have no other access to get these tickets. I have no money. I'm a brokey. This is my only way to see Ariana Grande.
Yeah, so there's 10 altogether, starting from the easiest to the most difficult for you. So we'll see at what number you kind of cut, and we'll see what happens, all right?
I'm a little scared. I think given how you write questions, the first like 3 to 4 are going to be really, really easy and a little weak, and they might ramp up a little too harshly. So I'm going to guess I'm going to stop at like 7 or 8, but we'll see.
Okay. So the first one is wait in line for 24 hours.
I'm surprised you started with that one first. This is a little known fact. I've actually never stayed up for 24 hours straight, at least not to my memory. I'm assuming I can sleep in the line, but yeah, I would do that regardless. Yeah.
Okay. Second is eat 20 hot dogs in 6 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gave you so much shit about you lost your fantasy football bet and you were like, I can't eat this many hot dogs, or was it you eventually switched to donuts or
Donuts.
something? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I could crush 20 hot dogs, and I hate hot dogs for the record. I'm pretty sure I could do 20 hot dogs in like an hour.
It's funny because I originally had in a day, and I was like, that's like less than a hot dog per hour. So I had to make it a little bit shorter. So
I
I'm
think
glad
the only I think the only acceptable time to eat hot dogs is like one cookout. Like choose Labor Day or 4th of July. If you're like regularly consuming hot dogs, you probably have a mental illness.
yeah, I could see that. The third is give up TikTok for a month.
Ooh, man, that's harder than it sounds. But for Ariana Grande, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Number four is shave your head.
Oh man, this actually shaved my head for front row, and she hasn't toured in forever, and she probably won't tour. She might not tour again after this. She actually just recently said that when she went to London to film Wicked, she thought that she would never produce another album. She thought Positions was her last album. Shave my fucking head. Oh fuck, I have long hair too. Like you mean like bald?
Yeah. I mean, you could do like just shave the very top and have hair on the sides if you want, but I figured you might want to go fully bald first.
Oh, it's tough. I've been growing my hair out since like 20, it's either been 2017 or 2018. I have recently been talking about maybe cutting it, but I wasn't thinking bald. I got to think about this one for a second.
It's funny because I had 4 and 5 switch back and forth a few times, so I'm wondering which one you actually think is more severe, but we'll see.
This one's far more severe. Oof. I think I would do it. I'd do it.
So this is the one I had switched back and forth. This is the fifth one. Get an Ariana Grande lyric tattooed on your lower back.
Yeah, 100%. I would do that. I would have done that for like number 1 or 2. I don't fucking care.
That's funny. All right. Number 6 is you're already at the concert. You're in the front row, but you have to wear a MAGA hat and a Charlie Kirk tribute shirt.
Oh shit. I mean, I think I just say yes. I got to do it. I mean, I think that's easily explainable, right? I'm sure I'm going to get like called on, and it's going to be. I don't know. I. Oh fuck. Yeah, I would do it.
And you can't say like it's a dare. You can't say the reasoning for it. You just have to like wear it.
I would do it. Yeah.
Okay. Number 7
Oh fuck.
is be a vegan for 2 years.
Oh shit. This is my lack of knowledge of like vegan friendly foods. Like what's the best staples of your vegan diet?
So there's weird types of veganism. Basically, for this question, it's any like byproducts from animals, but you could still have honey. I'll like cut the line at honey.
Bro, these vegan foods suck ass. You're eating like nuts and like fruits and vegetables. Like these are all things that I enjoy, but like where's the fucking I can't eat eggs, right? I can't eat fish.
Yeah, no eggs, no fish. Yeah.
Bro, I don't think I could do it. I think I would actually die. I think I would. I don't know how you people do it. Like, give me an example. What are like your vegan staple meals? What's your favorite vegan dinner?
Well, to be clear for the record here, I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian, which is much easier than being vegan.
Oh fuck! I always think you're fucking vegan.
Yeah, it's okay. So I wouldn't know really vegan staples because I eat a lot of dairy and eggs and things like that. But I think if you're vegan, basically you have to eat like get your protein from somewhere, like beans and legumes and stuff like that.
So this is the sample vegan meal ideas that Google AI gave me.
Okay,
Tofu stir fry with vegetables and rice.
that sounds good.
Fucking disgust. No, tofu's fucking disgusting. I don't care people that.
Oh, I
Whoa.
love tofu.
Lentil soup with whole wheat bread. I mean, I guess I could
Okay,
do that like once a month or something. Vegan burgers with sweet potato fries, bro. Oh, and then fruit and nut trail mix. That's a fucking meal for a vegan, bro. I couldn't do it. 2 years, I'm tapping out right there. I'm sorry. It's
okay, so
so
that's
hard.
that's where I guessed you would tap out was on that one.
That's a fucked up one. That's a really fucked up one.
All
Was
right,
that question
so
7 or 8?
that was 7. So number 8 was you have to give your entire CS2 inventory to the person you hate the most in the world.
Oh, that's much easier after the last 24 hours. But I'm trying to think of how to actually do that for tickets. I mean, I'm assuming I have no other access to go to the show.
Right.
My entire CS2 inventory, and it's to the person I hate the most.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about who that is for a while first too. But oh man, yeah, I don't think I'd do that either. It just would not. It would not be good.
Okay. And number 9 was legally change your name to Osama bin Hitler.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was not going to do that one.
All right. And the last one, which I think you definitely wouldn't do, is you have to stop doing this podcast.
Oh, I'd 100% do that.
Oh my God.
No, I mean we're 3 episodes in. I can't believe that was the last question. Um, I mean, I could just stop doing this podcast and like start another podcast, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But
I'd say never talk to Gilmore again. Oh my god,
that's too easy though.
this is like when you're like testing your relationship very early. It's like, would you ever cheat on me?
Would you love me if I was a bug?
Yeah, good memes. Oh fuck, I can't believe that. I don't know. The head shaving one almost had me, to be honest. But
I'm glad you pushed past that one.
probably a year ago, I would have said no. But I'm in a different place now.
You know what? Hopefully she listens and sees your dedication to the cause and, gives you free front row tickets, but we'll see.
That was the entire scam.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, cut that out. All right, let's move on to some real world shit. We always keep it real here. Number one, just a little funny thing. Trump recently said in a video clip that he is the third best president.
They say you're the third best president in the United States. This was on television, third best. And they said, who are the first two? George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
Trump thinks he's number 3 behind only Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And he also mentions the fact that they didn't solve 8 wars, soon to be 9. My 2 questions: 1, what is the 9th war? And 2, do you agree that he's the third best president of all time?
So if I had to guess, the ninth war is probably going to be the war between the United States and Venezuela. And then for the second question, him being top 3 or him being number 3, I think it's kind of a ridiculous statement. I don't think he thought it through completely. I think he's very narcissistic. And it's kind of insane to me that he would say he's the third best president behind someone who literally had his own slaves. So he's clearly top 2 for me.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm always a big Thomas Jefferson fan myself. Wait, were you talking to Lincoln or I got so lost? Lincoln or Washington?
Well, I give it to Washington because he thought black people were inferior and could be slaves. But Lincoln stopped that. So
I thought you were saying that Lincoln enslaved black people to fight the Civil War against him. So I thought you were making like a double racist meme.
oh no, he's a good guy. So he's number one.
I always used to really like, even before the Trump era, looking at those. Have you ever seen like the Wikipedia page for like historical presidential rankings, where historians go through and debate, who was the best president, and they kind of do like an overall. Like there's surveys that come out every X number of years. I think the Siena College or something does them. It's always fun to see where they rank the presidents. And pretty much before Trump, the two that were ranked at the very bottom were always James Buchanan, who obviously led to the Civil War, and Andrew Johnson, who followed directly after Lincoln, who was the first president to be impeached. And Trump typically is third to last, right ahead of them, I guess, in most of these polls, even with his first presidency. So it's always fun to see that he's in the terrible threes with these two complete idiots. But what I found really funny is that I looked at this today, there was a 2024 Presidential Greatness Project survey, and they had Trump at or near the bottom in every category, with particularly low rankings in the categories of moral authority, administrative skills, and international relations. How does a man that solves 9 wars get placed so low in international relations?
I think this is clear TDS on the part of all these experts, so-called experts, I should say, discussing the topic. So they clearly don't know what they're talking about, or these rankings came out before he started solving all these wars. It's got to be one or the other.
And before he like fixed grocery prices and gas prices, and yeah. If there's nothing else on Trump, well, maybe there is later. But moving on to news in France, our least favorite country in Western Europe, there was a recent jewel heist at the Louvre, and former President Nicolas Sarkozy was jailed for campaign finance fraud. Gilmore, do you hate France as much as I do? And what the fuck is wrong with the French?
So, of course, I hate France as much as you do. So I don't know anything about this topic. Are those two things connected or unrelated?
They're completely unrelated, but I just found them to be really funny that there's just like wild shit going on in France. And so the heist at the Louvre is like some, I don't know, I wanted to think of it as like Ocean's 11 type shit, but it was really just basic. These guys rented what is called like a furniture lift, and they raised it up to like this second or third story balcony, which the museum director admitted they did not have camera coverage of. And so they basically had like a free attempt to steal like all these jewels, a lot from like the Napoleonic era. One was like a giant emerald necklace. It was just a really funny story to me.
Well, it sounds like maybe in the future, maybe it was a test to make sure they have better security in the future. So hopefully that'll work out in the long run. Do they have any idea who these people are? Or they got away totally scot-free so far?
I think they're totally scot-free right now. I mean, they have videos of them like descending the lift, and it's kind of become a meme. I also am not sure why they call it a lift, I guess, but it's just kind of fun. Or a furniture lift. I didn't know those things were real. I've always lived in a pretty single-family house, I guess, so maybe never needed one, but they have no idea who these people are, I guess, is a short answer.
Has your house like tried dating at all?
Not yet. It's a little shy, a little socially awkward. Maybe needs a new paint job.
Okay, that's fair.
It's gotten a little fat during COVID.
So speaking of things getting a little fat, what do you think about the new ballroom put on the I guess the east wing of the White House?
Yeah, this is one where I might differ or dissent with my liberal brethren. I really just don't care about this, to be honest. I was more upset with the destruction of the Rose Garden. This thing does not really bother me that much. I mean, maybe it's just like too in line with what I expect Trump to do. Just put up this ugly ass ballroom. But I can't care about this, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you there. And also, like, if you're going to trust Trump with one thing outside of, solving all the world's wars, isn't it like interior decoration? So isn't this like the perfect thing for him to do?
I just don't get the obsession with all the gold shit. I think it's so ugly. I think even at that press conference the other day discussing the next topic, they were like sitting in like gold chairs, and I don't know, gold is like such an ugly color to me.
Yeah, I don't like gold. I don't even like gold jewelry. I only like silver or white gold, so it's not really for me, but I guess it's more of a subjective thing in the first place.
Are you saying you like don't like it enough that you won't give your wife gifts, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the ballroom, it does not bother me that much. I mean, whatever, it is what it is. Our final political topic of the week, we'll keep it short. The Venezuela cartel strikes. Neither of us claim to know much about these, Gilmore. 10 strikes on cartel boats at least. The U.S. is moving an aircraft carrier to South America. I saw that breaking news, I think, in the last day or two. Are we going to war with Venezuela? And do you care about these cartel strikes?
So I do care about them, but thankfully we know for certain that we're not going to war with Venezuela because I believe Trump said something to the effect of the fact that we're not going to war, we're just going to kill people. So rest assured, we will not be going to war with Venezuela.
That was a hilarious clip that I was going to play for the podcast, I think, but I completely forgot about it until now. Yeah. What an amazing press conference the other day.
Really interesting how we're at the point where just war is just not related to killing people. So that's pretty fun.
I hate to even raise this point, but Rand Paul actually triggered a good thought in my brain the other day. He was making the comment that like something like 25% of the boats that they stop outside the port of Miami that they suspect have drugs in them are actually, completely clean. And he said that based on that alone, we should not be trusting these random strikes on cartel boats. I mean, I think the bigger problem is I just don't trust anything that comes out of this administration's mouth. So were these cartel boats that were loaded with drugs? Maybe. I could also see them just blasting random boats and not really doing their due diligence or doing any vetting. I think that's the more concerning aspect of all this.
So two things on that. First is I believe that one of the boats they struck, two people survived and they just sent them back instead of like arresting them for having drugs. So it's pretty clear that, I don't think they actually had drugs on most of these boats. Secondly, with the U.S. striking these boats that are just randomly coming up here, are we basically the same as the Houthis at this point?
I think we'd have to interview the guy that Hassan interviewed to kind of get a better understanding of that.
All right, I think it's gonna be in episode 4. I think we confirmed with him, so we'll.
What was that
see what
guy's
he
name?
says.
Like Luffy or Lufa? Something in the shower?
Yeah, Lou for the shower. I think his name is.
Yeah, Lufa the shower. Perfect. Is this our third award, or are we not doing the second episode, or a Cope of the Week?
I think this is our second ever Cope of the Week.
Okay, we kind of did a bonus episode for episode 2. So this is our second ever Cope of the Week, awarding a gold medal. Gilmore, I'll give you the honor.
All right, so just for some background, there's a guy running for the Senate out of Maine named Graham Plattner, who is a fairly left individual. He's running the Democratic primary against someone who's more centrist and older. And he, I think before recently, was the favorite for the seat. It came out that he had allegedly, well, he definitely had a tattoo. Allegedly, it's a Nazi tattoo called a Totenkopf, which I personally never heard of before. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's called the Death's Head, which was used by the Nazi like SS division, who were running the concentration camps, which normally is a bad thing. So this came out. He kind of was wishy-washy about it, and then finally said that he wasn't sure what it was, or he knew what it was, and he was going to get covered up, which he eventually did. So we have a lot of people on the left who are kind of trying to cover for him. And one of those people was Crystal Ball, who is the host of the Breaking Points show. And her tweet about the topic was, quote, "For me personally, I'll take a candidate with a regrettable tattoo over one who has steadfastly supported a genocide." So, Gohndim, what are your thoughts on that quote?
What's the genocide, just for the record?
She didn't clarify, but I'm assuming the U.S. Venezuela genocide.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking the genocide of our young people by the importation of drugs by these violent cartels, like Trendo Agua and all these other things, all the Mexican cartels. My thoughts are, this is also the first I'm hearing of this word. What do you say it was? Like Dutemkopf or something? The first I've ever heard of it, for the record.
So, Totenkopf?
See, I've already forgotten it. It's such a vile word to me.
We should bleep that out.
Is it possible that he got the tattoo like on a dare?
So what he did disclose is that he got the tattoo in Croatia. Does that change anything for you?
Oh, that actually changes a lot for me. I think as I've explained previously, the Balkans are some of the most racist, vile places in Europe, if not the entire world. And so it just doesn't surprise me that racist things go on there.
So are you saying his conduct's okay?
Oh, absolutely not. It might be normal for that area, but it's not normal for like objectively better based Western moral values, which Drew Pavlo has been espousing on Twitter recently.
Okay. And follow-up question, how much are you donating to his campaign?
I've already forgotten where he told me he's campaigning. Is it Maine?
Yeah, Maine.
Honestly, the first time I heard the story, I thought there's no way this guy was like an actual going for federal Senate. I thought this was like a state Senate house or something, or seat. It just blows my mind that this guy's actually challenging Susan Collins. I almost called her Susie. We don't know her that well. Um, it blows my mind. And then the fact, like, why don't you cover this up 15 years ago? Or like, why are you taking your shirt off? Like, everything about the story is just crazy to me.
A lot of good questions, very few answers, and I still think that he's going to end up winning. So we'll see what happens in the coming months.
My final question, though, is I did see a Hassan clip about this. Not to Hassan post, not that anyone from his community listens to our podcast, but he said something about like, he said that Totenkopf is like the third most popular Nazi tattoo, and I'm thinking like, how do you know what are the most popular Nazi tattoos? I mean, I'm assuming the swastika is probably number one, but it just seemed a little weird to me that he's like so confident. This is the third most popular Nazi tattoo. It's just kind of funny. So,
wait, so he didn't say what the top two were?
I think he said I don't think he said. I don't know. Maybe I'm just forgetting, but I'm just assuming the swastika is number one. I think he said the three arrows was number two, and then the Totenkopf was like number three. So it's just funny to me. I'd never really thought about like the I don't know, the rate of Nazi tattoo or symbology on the body, but I'm not a white nationalist Nazi, I guess. So
it's also strange that he would know that because he's like the least anti-Semitic person I know. So it's strange that he would know like the top three tattoos for them. But
speaking of the second least anti-Semitic person that we know, we have some mailbags from Deegs. Do you want to get going with those?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask the first one. So he asks, if you found out that you had accidentally gotten a swastika on your face, how would you cover it up?
And I have to cover it up. I can't like cut the skin off.
I guess you could do that. I guess that kind of counts as covering it up, right?
Do you have enough space to like make do you have like a tic-tac-toe board or something?
So I was gonna say like a maze.
That could work.
And that could be like kind of the middle point of the maze.
Yeah, that could work. I'll go with a maze, and if that doesn't work, there's not enough space. I'll just cut off the skin.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. Also from our Discord, from Cernus, he says, "quote As you may have seen in the Discord server, I only pay for 14 megabytes down and 3 megabytes up. I'd love to get Starlink, but my wife thinks Elon Musk is a Nazi. What should I do?"
Really good question from Cernus. If I understood any of those words, I totally would answer it. So maybe I'll throw this over to you to answer.
I mean, I think at one point you just have to decide that you're going to wear the pants, and you're paying like, wasn't it like $90 or $70 for this shit internet? I mean, just buy Starlink. I mean, I'm sorry, it just we don't really care about all these little satellites in the space. They're just going to like decay and burn up. No one really cares. Elon has been proven time and time again to be like a good financial steward of all these companies. Don't look into that Solar City company. Don't really look too much into Tesla. But Starlink seems to be good for now, so might as well get it while it's still active. And also, I think he just randomly turned off some Starlink satellites for people that were using it inappropriately, and so he can just shut your service off willy-nilly, but he probably wouldn't do that in America, so you're all set.
Yeah, I think he only does that for the Ukrainians, right? Who are trying to fight a war of aggression against Russia.
He just did it somewhere else, but now I'm blanking completely where it was. I thought it was like was it a terrorist group, or I don't know, I'm just making shit up now.
Yeah, who knows? Third question here from Scoozy, the shark. If you could say one thing to a past or the current president, who would it be and what would you say?
I should have thought about this question before we fucking did this episode. Also, is Scuzzy Italian now? You call him like Scoozy.
Scoozy.
From a Scoozy. If I could say one thing to a past or the current president, what would it be and what would you say? Or who would it be and what would you say?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of just presidents that I'd most want to talk to. I've always been a fan of both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. I really liked all the letters back and forth between the two. They had a very interesting relationship during their presidencies and after. They became actually really good friends after the presidency, I think particularly after Abigail Adams died. And funny enough, I'm not sure if you know this little fact of American history, but they died on the exact same day. They died 50 years exactly after the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1826. And reportedly, John Adams' first or last words was Thomas Jefferson survives, but he died actually, reportedly hours before that. So they always had an interesting relationship. Jefferson was also key in the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark expedition. He knew so many interesting people at the time. I would probably choose Thomas Jefferson, and I'd just probably just ask him what the biggest regret of his presidency was. I don't know. It's the most simple, kind of boring thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, that's a good one. I'd probably tell Andrew Jackson to like chill out with like the Native Americans.
Oh, I think I said the dueling, but yeah, the Native American stuff's good too. Yeah,
Like cool, just like chill a little bit with that, you know?
maybe don't pack the smallpox blankets.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hating my answer now, but we'll get a redo eventually.
it's okay.
Finally, from Deegs, I think this is actually an interesting question. He says, "Who are your most feared opponents on the opposite end of the presidential ballot?"
So, do you take this to mean in someone who would run in 2028? Like, if I support the Democrats, who would I least want to see on the Republican ticket in 2028?
Yeah, I think so. That's how I'm thinking of the question. I should say that I would like this question in more normal times. I think our answers are both going to be not very satisfying, but go ahead.
So, I guess the most obvious one would be Trump if he's on the uh, ticket as either president or vice president for 2028. Secondly, I'd probably say, although I think he's much, much, much less likable and electable than Trump, I would say JD Vance probably second if I had to pick two.
Yeah, I mean, I think my obvious answer is Trump, and I'm at this point pretty convinced that unless his health is failing him, that he's going to try to run for a third term. I know a lot of people will say that's TDS, but I think that's the reality that we're building towards, and I don't think it's going to take very much for him to explain to his base why he's doing that or why he thinks he can do that. I don't think it really matters what Steve Bannon says in an interview recently, where he said, they have a plan. I think all he has to say is that, FDR did it before. Our country is under attack, and he's already going to have the National Guard, if not the broader military, deployed across the country at that point. So I don't think it's going to take very much. So probably Trump and what we allow him to do in 2028. JD Vance, I would not be as worried about. I still think he is going to capture a lot of the Trump vote, but I think he's got the charisma of like the couch that he's been fucking. Like he just doesn't do it for me, even though I'm not MAGA. I think I'd be a little bit more fearful of someone like even Marco Rubio, who kind of was bulldozed by Trump in the 2016 primaries, but I think has proven himself to be a little bit more of a skilled operator behind the scenes. Still an idiot, but better than JD Vance.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to a popularity contest at this point, especially on the right. So I just think at this point, probably JD's most likely one of the more popular figures. But I guess, and there's also like, Trump's children and grandchildren or whoever else could run. So who knows?
That's actually true. Maybe the scariest answer is like fucking Eric Trump. I don't know which one's creepier, Eric Trump or Don Jr. They're both so fucking weird.
I think between those two, I'd prefer Eric, but it's not too far off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bizarro world, or maybe like Jared Kushner would be a scary presidential candidate.
Well, obviously I like Jared Kushner, but for separate reasons.
Yeah, no problem. Moving on.
The last two times, I guess you asked me all the quick fire questions, so now it's time to turn the tables here, and I'll be asking you 10 quick fire questions. Before we start, are you ready for this?
I'm getting asked a lot of questions tonight. I don't know if I like it, but yeah, go for it.
All right. First question is what was your favorite video game growing up?
Probably Ocarina of Time on N64.
Okay. Who's your favorite author?
Ooh, it's a tough question. There's two books that I reread almost every year: The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien and Of Mice and Men by Steinbeck. I'd probably go with Steinbeck overall.
Okay. Who's your favorite female author?
Ooh, man. This is actually really funny. These are supposed to be quick fire questions. Maya Angelou.
Okay. Vlexer, member of the bunker and head mod in the bunker, wanted me to ask you this question. He wanted to know what's wrong with the right side of Ariana Grande's face.
Pass.
Okay. If you could change the results of any single sporting event, which would you change?
Oh, that's tough. So many, any game in history,
Yeah, any game, but just one game, not like a full season.
so many NFC Championship losses by the Packers. I'm going back to last season, the Lynx Game 5 against the Liberty. They're winning the
I knew you'd
ship.
say that.
One game. Yeah. Took me a while, but
What wild animal would you most want as a pet? Let's say you could tame it.
that you can tame, and it's
Yeah.
not gonna have like diseases and shit.
Yeah, no, like it's tamed and it won't like kill you.
Probably a fox.
Okay. Who's your favorite member of the bunker?
Excluding present company,
Yes.
probably GDC.
Okay. If animals could talk, which do you think would be the most racist?
Oh God. This is supposed to be quick. I have nothing that's really coming to my mind. We'll say mosquitoes because I think they target white people more.
Okay, that's fair. If you bring back one debate streamer from retirement, not including Bastiat, who
Oh
would it
fuck.
be?
One debate streamer, bring them back. There were so many shitty debate streamers. Trying to think if I liked any of them. This is one that you probably don't even know who he is. Cormandine.
Okay, I'll have to look into them. And last question. You have to answer this quickly, okay? Who would win in a fight between Pisco and Rob Noor?
Like a what kind of fight? Like a boxing, a cage match, no holds barred.
Yeah, no holds barred, no weapons though. And like in a ring.
I think if Pisco was smart, he would win. I think in most cases Rob Noor is going to win because I think he's just size is just too big.
Okay. Well, that's your quick fire questions. You did a commendable job. You only skipped one, so I appreciate that.
I mean that was a low blow question. We're going to be talking with Lex after this.
Yeah, I just again make it clear for the record that question was not my idea. So
We'll see when the bands come out. Anyway, I think that's the show for tonight, Gilmore. Unless we missed anything, any final words from you?
no, I think that's all I got. It was a pleasure, and we'll see you all next week.
All right, thank you guys so much. You can find us everywhere podcasts are published, and be sure to join the Bunker, our Discord server, in the links below if you want to ask us some questions. Until next time, enjoy.
Bye bye.